good question. I think I would watch a lot of shows if I wasn't on the show.
Yeah, I would watch a lot more television than I do, but when...
Right now I don't really watch anything. I'm not at that point where I'm
it's like whatever's on, you know?
Yeah, I have a tough time committing to...
A lot of, what do you keep on in your trailer? Like, I usually just keep like a news...
ESPN or CNN.
Yeah, ESPN, CNN,
Yeah.
like something, just news, because it's kind of on in the background.
Yeah.
We don't really, I don't necessarily make time to sit down and...
Yeah. It's also different, it's different from this side. Not just, like, I never watched Gilmore Girls. I've seen it, I enjoy it when I watch it, but I never...
But I would say that if I wasn't on the show, I would make time to watch this show. Only if somebody else is playing Sam, too. Because...
That would be weird if we were all No, but I think if and when the show does end, I think I'll watch a lot more. But right now it's difficult as an actor. It's tough to watch. Show I break things down. I have to watch them casually years after the fact.
Thank you, thanks. Hi.
Hi. So Jason, on the show...
Boring. Just kidding, I'm boring.
On the show, you love working on your Impala, on the Impala. Do you have a favorite car you like working on outside of the show?
Is there a favorite car that
You like
that Jensen has?
No. Yes, Jensen, Jensen.
I'm talking like
If Jared was wondering that too.
Yeah, actually, oddly enough, little fun fact for you guys. I don't, little FF, I don't actually have a car in real life.
What?
Yeah, I don't, there is not a car with my name on the title. I work in Vancouver, which Cliff and or Johnny drive us to and from work. I live in an area in Vancouver where everything's walkable, so I don't need a car there. I only come home on the weekends to LA, and my wife has a car, so we just use that. So there's really, I had a truck for a number of years, and it was an '08. I had it for 3 years, and I put 10,000 miles on it. 3 years. And it was just, I mean, it was a beautiful truck, and I actually sold it to my father-in-law, because I couldn't just, it pained me that this thing was just sitting in the driveway. So I got rid of that, and I haven't gotten one since, so I don't even own a car. If I was going to get a car,
Would it be a Chevy or a Ford? That's what I want to know.
it would be a Chevy or a Ford. Those are my two options. That's it?
Yeah, Chevy or Ford.
Because like, what's wrong with an Aston Martin? I'm just kidding. Man, you know, I don't know. I probably would get a truck.
What about a Camaro?
Again, I'd probably get a. You know what I'd really like to do is, Cliffy, what year was that pickup truck? 1970.
Which one?
Chevy, right? Yeah, 1970 Chevy pickup truck.
What about a Camaro?
Just a single cab. This thing's awesome looking. Anyway, I see you guys were real. I just lost everybody. They're like, 1970, really? So you can roll your window up like this? That's ridiculous. Yeah, I know, boring. There you go. Thank you. Thanks. Hi.
My question is, what's the most uncomfortable scene you've had to do with prosthetics or fake blood, etc.?
Yeah, no, mine wasn't. Go ahead, you first.
Okay, well mine was actually the season, the helicopter boat, season beginning of season 2. Okay, after the Impala accident, we go back to Vancouver and it's now July and it's hot. And I think it was like 2 or 3 hours of putting on busted eye prosthetics. So they kind of...
Oddly enough.
Yeah.
The eye. Yeah.
And the eye. And so the reason it ended up where Sam was bandaged instead is because we're laying on this gurney and it was hot, it was July. And so I put, they glue it on, they glue on these prosthetic pieces to make your eye look like it's all busted. So I have 2 here, and I have 1 here, and I'm laying there, and in between shots, I'm not getting up out of the stretcher and walking around. I'm just laying there because they're quickly setting up shots. And the sun was so hot that it melted the glue. Yeah, and so it melted the glue. It actually makes my eye water just think about it. But it melted the glue into my eye. Yeah, and actually my eye is getting irritated just talking about it. But so I'm sitting there and I was like, guys, I think this is not good. I'm like, the stuff started to kind of crumple because the glue under it was crumpling. And so what they ended up doing is they had to send me to the medic, and we had to pull them off and do an eye rinse, like an intense eye rinse. And then they still wanted me to have a busted up eye, so they just put an eye bandage on instead. That and Bloody Mary, because Bloody Mary for the eyes, once again, for the eye, it's really, when you start putting stuff around the eyes,
Very sensitive.
it gets very sensitive.
Right there.
So they had to put the stuff, and they had a tube running up my back, through my hairline, over my ear, across this little, like from my ear to there, and then under my eye, that had an opening right there. So somebody could sit on the ground behind me and pump, like if the camera's me here, and I'm just looking in the mirror and crying, and someone's sitting right below where the camera is, and pumping blood like this tube that's running up my back, across here, and dripping blood there. But it just, you can't really move, because they don't want you to, because it takes so many hours to put it on, that they don't want you to start crinkling it, because then it looks fake. So those were my...
Yeah, because the blood tears looks real. And there's no question of authenticity there. Oddly enough, mine was an eye as well. It was in Swan Song when Jerk Boy over here was beating the crap out of me. That would tell you.
You also had a pretty crappy one in season 3. End of season 3 with the Hellhounds.
Oh gosh, that was. Yeah, but that wasn't prosthetics. Well, that wasn't really prosthetics. That was just plumbing. Yeah, I said plumbing. As in my whole wardrobe was plumbed with blood. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, in Swan Song, I had a big, my eye swelled shut. I don't know if you remember that, because Satan Sam was punching. Yeah, was kicking my ass. And I put this thing on, and it took about an hour and a half to 2 hours to put on. And it was during the day, but it wasn't. This was in the springtime, so it wasn't. It was late March, so it wasn't hot. But what happened was, because the scene was so intense, when they fall into the hole, and then Dean kind of crawls over to the hole. It was an emotional scene, and Dean started crying.
Wait, what? What?
Dean started crying.
Who plays Dean?
I played Dean, but I was. So anyway, the salt and the tears started to melt the glue, and then that just started mixing into my eye. And so once again, we're dealing with glue in your eye, which then like glue, once it starts hardening and crusting your eye closed, and it's very painful and very horrible. And I guess I probably shouldn't have acted in that.
You should have just cried with one eye.
Well, yeah, well that's the problem. There were tears coming out of this eye. Nothing was coming out of this eye. It was covered in crust. But that's what we did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for bringing that horrible memory back.
I love you.
I want to speak for everybody. It was just like I told Misha last night. Everyone's going to miss you guys so much because we're not having a convention here next year. But my question is, Dave, I've got an old Impala too. When are they going to bring that car back? I mean, that's your baby. That's my And I know that it seems like they've written it in there where he's not really missing. And I'm just kind of wondering if that car's going to come back.
It'll come back. It'll come back. We just I did a lot of bitching and pleading for a number of years, and they finally dumped about 25-30K into one of them. We have about 5 of them, right? And they finally souped one up. What they drop in at Cliffy? There's a 502. Yeah, 502 big block Chevy. sport header, sport suspension, basically gave the whole thing an overhaul. And it is sweet, man. And so they wouldn't have done that to just keep a tarp over it. So it'll come back. And it'll be better than before.
Well, it's been on that car for 7 years, it's like you don't even need it. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man. All right.
What was your favorite episode of Supernatural?
I think you and I both have the same one. I think
Yep.
I think it's the one that just recently, Death's Door, where Bobby died. I think not because obviously very upset that the character is gone, but I think as far as a story, as far as a performance, and as far as directing goes, I think that was one of, if not the best of the series.
Yeah, mine too. I was really sad obviously that Bobby died, but I felt like it was done so well. There was so much heart and soul poured into that episode. And also I think it's one of the few times that Jensen and I have been able to watch the show kind of like y'all guys. Like we watched it as fans. We weren't there because we weren't supposed to see it. So we got to watch it and kind of find out what was happening
As an audience member.
as an audience member. So it was a really unique experience. I've had experience with them at the end, which I thought was awesome also. But I think it was a time that we finally got to watch it and just be fans of the show. And on top of that, it was a great acted episode, a great directed episode. It was very sad. So mine too.
What's your favorite?
I would have to say the Christmas episode.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you. And then there was one. Hi.
I was just wondering what you guys thought of the Dean and Castiel pairing. What you guys thought of the Dean and Castiel pairing together?
In the storyline?
Yeah, like in the whole series.
What do we think of Dean and Castiel's relationship in the series?
Yeah.
I think it's like a second brother, right?
What's that?
It's kind of like, it becomes kind of like a
Yeah, it's
second
like
brother.
it's kind of it's this really odd, strange friendship. You know, I think there's a deep respect that they both have for each other. Ultimately they're two completely different beings, but I think that there's an understanding there that Sam and Dean kind of share, which is I got your back.
And Sam and Castiel obviously don't get along. Castiel doesn't know Sam, and with good reason. I mean, Sam kind of has a demon deal with Cass being an angel, hated demons. But I think it was someone for Dean to kind of vent to, I guess.
It was a reliable source for Dean. He needed somebody. He was trying to be a reliable source for his brother, but he needed to have somebody to ask for help too. And I think Cass fulfilled that role. So it's different not having him around.
Thank you, love you guys.
Thank you.